This is a real-life plasma pistol from the video game Halo, and at the end of this project, it will function just like it does in the game. Over the last few years, it's been our mission here at Impact Props to bring as many weapons to life from the video game Halo as humanly possible. But now it's time to turn our sights onto the alien side of this game, and they've got a lot of crazy weapons that we're gonna try to tackle. We've already made a real-life needler using glow-in-the-dark nails, but what about the plasma pistol and plasma rifle? These are both extremely iconic weapons that I grew up playing with in-game, and it's my goal to figure out a way to bring these weapons to life. Starting with the plasma pistol. The plasma pistol fires green balls of plasma at every trigger pull, and when you hold the trigger down and release it, it shoots a massive ball of plasma. And our plasma pistol is gonna do that in real life. Welcome to making a real-life plasma pistol from Halo. And please, don't try anything you're about to see at home. So how are we gonna make this work? First, let's start with this concept revolving around the Napoleon cannon. Here's how it works. The cannon is first loaded with a charge full of gunpowder. Next, an iron ball is loaded as the shot. Then, a spark is dropped into a small hole on the barrel, and boom goes the dynamite. Now for the plasma pistol, imagine 10 of these cannons lined up in one assembly, shooting off one by one. That is our goal. So, I 3D modeled this prototype to test the concept. 10 barrels in one assembly so we can have 10 separate shots. The barrel assembly is made up of two different parts, the barrels and the back plate. For this version, we will use electricity to ignite each charge. But now, what are we gonna shoot out of these barrels to get those green shots that we're after? This right here is called a pyrotechnic star. This is what it looks like when you light it. Pyrotechnic stars can be found on the inside of most fireworks. They come in all kinds of colors and all kinds of different effects. And this star that I'm putting in our barrel right now is green. Now the next thing to test is, will it shoot? Will this explode? Don't know. I need to just do this in the middle of the street. I have to do this right now. This is so fun. Okay, let's do our first plasma test. This is kind of sketchy, I'm not even gonna lie. We got some steel on top of the test. Here, I've got my battery. 3, 2, 1. I'm the only one out here. But that was sick! It freaking worked. And it shot far. And it wasn't loud. Yes! It's a little warm, but we're good. Oh my god, this is the first time that I'm confident I will be able to make a plasma pistol. This is gonna be a freaking sick project. Oh my god! Now, as you just saw, using a small copper wire and sending a lot of current through it is a great way to ignite a charge. But this drill battery is pretty hefty, and we're not gonna have much room in the pistol. So we need to rethink this a little bit. This right here is a plasma lighter. It uses a small high voltage transformer to generate real plasma. Pretty cool, right? It would be pretty perfect to use this on a plasma pistol. And using this would actually make our plasma pistol a plasma pistol. And to me, that makes this project way more awesome. So we're gonna roll with it. Using real plasma for this project makes the electronics side way more complicated. But that sounds like a problem for another time. Let's start out with the physical design. The look of our pistol will be based on the Halo Infinite version of the plasma pistol. Now, this part of the project always starts with me reaching out to my favorite 3D modeler on the planet, Vec 3D. So I sent Vec 3D my barrel assembly design, and he got to work. Because of course, it has to look the part, but it also has to have enough room to house the electronics, be safe, and house the barrel assembly. And after 3 weeks of back and forth, this was his final model. And it looks awesome. This top area right here is where all of the electronics will go. And for easy access, this top piece will be on a hinge. Now the barrel assembly slides in from the front and bolts to the frame using these 4 bolt holes. Now to help make the plastic parts, our friends at Prusa sent us a brand new Core 1 FDM 3D printer. And its first ever prints will be the top piece, the bottom piece, and the barrel, all out of PLA. And I know you're probably thinking, why would you make the barrels out of plastic? Well, since we're using plasma to ignite our charges, we can't use a conductive material to make the barrels, like metal. If we did, then the circuit could actually short inside of this barrel assembly before it gets to the charge, resulting with the ignition not taking place, which is why it needs to be plastic. And by doing that, it brings up some pretty big safety concerns. But not to worry, we thought of this in our design. My solution is to make this frame out of 3/16 stainless steel and house the barrel assembly inside. So if anything goes wrong in these barrels, all the pressure will be propelled forward, away from the shooter. And as one of the shooters, I think that's a great idea. So, to make this frame, we reached out to our friends at PCB Way. We just got done with another project where they helped helped us metal 3D print this bulletproof Master Chief helmet. And when I told them about this project, they were down to help out and 3D print this frame out of 316L stainless steel. So I sent them our files and they got started printing the frame. As you can see, there's a bunch of companies that are helping make this project happen. And to help us fund this project, we have the sponsor of today's video, Aura. Aura is an all-in-one protection from identity theft, scams, and online threats for the whole entire family. Data breaches are a thing these days. According to IBM, it takes a company an average of 277 days to report a breach. That is way too long. By then, your information has been circulating on the internet for 9 months. 9 months! And to me, that's way too much time for my personal information to be circulating on the internet without me knowing about it, right? Aura scores the internet for your data, pinpoints brokers that are trying to sell your information, and automatically opts out of them for you. Aura also alerts me if they find my phone number, email, or social security number on the dark web. They're gonna let me know fast if anybody's trying to use this information to access my bank accounts. And that's really important information to have. They also provide a bunch of other features to help keep you safe online, like a VPN and a credit score monitoring app, and up to $5 million of theft insurance. So check out the link in my description. That's aura.com/impactprops for 14 days for free. That'll be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your information has been exposed. The goal here is to learn about these breaches before these companies are forced to tell you. And often than not, without Aura, it's way too late. So a massive thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video. Okay, back to the build. While I waited for PCBWay to print the frame, I got started printing the plastic parts on my Prusa Core 1. And the parts look so good. The Core 1 really can make some awesome parts. Massive shout out to Prusa for sending this printer. I look forward to using it on many more projects to come. It is January 22nd, but it is Christmas all over again because we just got a package from our friends at PCBWay. Wonder what could it be? Oh, you already know what it is. PCBWay sent this part free of charge, so massive shout out to these guys. These parts are pretty expensive, and we appreciate you guys having our back with these projects. I am just so excited to see the quality. Holy cow, this looks better than the helmet. You can see a little bit of print lines, but it is immaculate. This is beautiful. PCBWay, this is gorgeous. It's heavy, but it's not unmanageable. 316L stainless steel, 3D printed by PCBWay. This is the crown jewel right here. Be sure to check out PCBWay in the description. Okay, now it's time to sand our metal 3D print down. The print looks amazing, but we can still see some 3D print lines, and we need to get rid of those before we move on to paint. There's also some areas that I want to keep in metal because, you know, it is metal. So that's what we're about to do right now. I'm at an undisclosed location that has a massive compressor. I've got my die grinder and a bunch of assorted pads here, and we're about to make quick work of this metal 3D print. Soak it in. This is about to be very shiny in just a couple seconds.
I had to hop in the kitchen, I'm really on fire, you know, ignited, yeah. I know some people don't like it, I'm moving with flavor, they probably invite it, yeah.
Using my variety of abrasive pads, my die grinder made pretty quick work of roughing out the metal print lines. Overall, looking good. Overall, pretty good progress. As I sand, I'm trying to not get rid of some of the crisp detail lines that are on this model and on this print. This looks all good. I'm really happy with how this looks. The majority of the imperfections are out, but now we're left with a lot of swirl marks and a lot of grind marks. So now we're gonna up the grit and use some polishing tools to get rid of those imperfections that I just added to the part. I use this polish wheel along with some stainless steel polish to buff out all the sanding lines that I added with the coarse pads. This is definitely one of the most rewarding parts of this entire process, because look how awesome this turned out. I'm really excited with how this is looking. Whenever we made that bulletproof Master Chief helmet, I had to paint the entire thing. With the plasma pistol, I'm still gonna be able to keep some of this metal showing, and that makes me so happy. So now it's time to smooth out the plastic parts, which is a completely different process. To fill in the 3D print lines, I started by using this stuff called filler primer, which I spray heavily on each part, let dry, I sand the filler down, and repeat this process until smooth. Now, there are some imperfections on this part that can't be filled with filler primer, and for those areas, we use this stuff called spot putty. I lathered the spot putty all over the deeper imperfections, let it dry, sand it down, and repeat until we have no more imperfections. Then I painted them black and let them cure. Now, let's shift our sights back to the frame. So now we're gonna tap these holes right here. We're gonna use 6x32 bolts, so I gotta drill holes here, tap each one of them to hold our barrel in place. But when I tried to tap the stainless steel, oh no! And then I tried again. Oh, are you kidding me? And again. And again. This is working. This is working. Oh no! I should have used nuts. Look at freaking this. That is the screw in the one hole that was tapped correctly. It broke. I'm manually backing this out, by the way, so you're about to watch that. Every single one of these holes is blocked now. Turns out that stainless steel is super hard to tap. So to cut my losses, I drilled out the holes and just decided to use nuts. But I still have these areas that I messed up that I need to fix, and we'll do that here in a minute.
Dang, looks like you shot it with a BB gun or something.
That's rude. This is my friend Van, and we're gonna use the sandblast machine to prep the grip and this little front area for black paint.
Look how cool this blast booth is.
It's 30 years old. It's a 30-year-old blast booth.
They look like they're supposed to be a little coarse on this picture, so I figured we'd rough these areas up just a little bit to give us some more grip. Oh yeah, and it turned out awesome. This thing is freaking so cool. I haven't put the top and the bottom off since we got this metal piece, and I've forgotten how big this is. It's all coming together. With that step out of the way, I guess we need to fix those nasty tapped holes, right? My dad's here. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Dad's gonna help me fix these mistakes.
We're gonna try.
Would you consider this giving up, Dad?
No, it's about getting it done.
See, thanks, Dad. It is kind of giving up, but I don't know. Can I say it's okay to give up on your dream of having a tapped holes and stainless? I don't know. We're just gonna fix this, okay?
Well, in the past, I've made things a lot worse by trying to fill a hole. So we're hoping that we're gonna be able to do this without making it worse.
But could it be worse?
Most definitely.
Okay, well, that's... Any last words?
Lord, help us do this.
First try. Look at that. Pretty good. Now that's the big hole. That looks great.
Is that the last one?
Yeah, that's it. Nice job. Thanks, Dad, for fixing all my problems. Now, it's finally time for paint. Specifically, these purple iridescent areas right here. So I think as far as all the paint jobs that I've ever done, this is probably gonna be the biggest process. We're using something new called Copic ink. I've never done anything like this before. You'll see, it's gonna get a little bit complicated. My buddy Eric Newgard has had some amazing results from this technique, so we're gonna give it a shot. And I think the best way to explain this painting process is to show you as I go. So you're going in blind. The first step is to paint all the future purple parts black as a base coat. Next, I used a 2K gloss clear coat to give the black areas a nice shiny finish. So I let the clear coat dry for a couple of hours. It's looking really good now. Now it's time to apply our Alumiluster. Now I've used Alumiluster before on this channel. Usually Alumiluster is to try to make something not metal look like metal. The parts that we're painting right now are going to be purple at the end. We want to see some reflectivity coming through the purple, so that's why we're using Alumiluster. Imperial Service, you make an awesome product. So I applied Alumiluster in very thin coats until the parts were nice and reflective like this. All right, Alumiluster, success. It looks really, really good. With the Alumiluster applied, now it's time for the tricky part, the purple Copic ink. But apparently you can put it in a spray gun and it acts kind of like a translucent color film that goes over it. This Copic ink doesn't actually ever dry. It's ink and it just stays tacky forever, which is why we're gonna do another layer of this clear coat on top. And I think really that's all I have to do is just give it a shot, see what happens. Worst case, start over. So I emptied the contents of this vial into the spray gun.
That is crazy.
And carefully applied it to each part. All right, here goes nothing. And immediately, I was blown away with how these parts started to look.
Dude, it looks so good. It's freaking color shift. This is amazing. Oh, it looks so good. Oh, it looks so good.
Oh my God, I'm so amped. I gotta be careful not to touch it because the ink is never gonna dry. It's blue-purple color shift. It's beautiful. The clear coat is the last step. I'm gonna do that right now. This is turning out way better than expected. I mixed the final coat of clear coat, carefully sprayed each piece, and let them cure for 24 hours. All right, it's the next day and our paint is finally dry. And it's finally time to take this tape off. Now that looks freaking good. The last and final part of this paint process is to paint these areas that we sandblasted dark gray and fill the cracks in with some black to tie it all together. And this is what it looks like completely finished. And just like that, the plasma pistol is complete. Well, except for the whole shooting part, of course.
Chief, I'm sorry, this is kind of my bad. I forgot to tell you, it doesn't work yet. Yeah, we just finished the cosmetic part. The shooting part's gonna be, you know, in a whole nother video. We just finished the physical part this time. It's a big project. You understand, right? Right? I'm so happy with how this plasma pistol turned out, but there's so much more to this project that we haven't even touched yet. Now for the next video, we're gonna be focusing on making this thing actually shoot. We've got the design, we've got the plan, but the electronics, how are we gonna do that? You'll find out. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video where this will be working.
We'll be right back.